Hi everyone. Good afternoon and happy
Thursday.
Eve?
Well, almost Friday.
Friday, right? I hope everybody had a great April. Almost done with April.
Oh my God.
And a great Easter. How was your Easter?
My Easter was great. I spent it with my family. How was yours?
It was quiet. The
That's
kids,
always nice.
It's nice. Now we celebrate quiet. But it was nice and actually I took some time with my best friend Nicole. Hi Nicole. And we just took a day and went to St. Pete and chilled, and the rest with the kiddos. So it was fun.
Oh,
it was
nice.
fun.
Time to recharge.
Yes, I love those. So welcome to episode 10. Double digits with Rachel. So last episode we talked about egg donation, and it was more about the intake process. We had Danny with us, sassy Danny. It was
That's how I feel about Danny.
Right?
Just kidding.
We talked about the egg donor intake, processing applications, what it takes to qualify an egg donor, what the process is like, and also what families go through in selecting a donor. What is it that they look for? Sometimes it's physical characteristics. Sometimes it's more of, hobbies, education. They just want to connect with that individual before they, commit to. And Danny was awesome about giving us a kind of an into her process and how she does things. Where is she anyway?
Department.
Where is she? Say hi.
It's not about you, Danny. Today.
That's it. Bye. Thanks for stopping by. So today we have Rachel Garcia.
Oh my goodness.
I never say your full name. What's your middle name?
I don't have a middle name.
Just like me. Yay. We just connected over no middle name. I'm like, what's the point anyway? But
Right.
Rachel, welcome to
thank you
Facebook
for having
Live. Yes. So let's chat. Let's get me into your world, and let's start maybe with what brought you into open arms. And I know we had you before in different departments, and it feels like the egg donor department is the perfect fit for you.
Yes.
So walk us through your journey to open arms into our team.
I'll give a little summary about my, journey.
Yes.
So I was born and raised in the Dominican Republic, and I moved to the U.S. when I was 11 years old. My parents moved to New York. I love New York. It's always going to be my home.
I know.
And then when I was a junior in college, they decided to relocate because of my little brother to Sarasota.
Yeah.
And you know how close I am to my family, and so that's ultimately what also brought me to Sarasota. During my undergrad, I majored in biology and minored in sociology on the pre-medical track. And so upon graduation...
I'm always proud of you and your accomplishment. It's amazing.
Oh, thank you. And so upon graduation, I wanted to really dive into the field and see what it is that was making me want to pursue this super hard path, And so I did medical scribe for a little bit, and then I wanted to do more. I wanted to feel that my day-to-day was having a bigger impact.
Yeah.
And so that's when I started doing research and looking for opportunities. And then I ran into open arms, and then let's just say the rest is history, and I didn't look anywhere else. And then I was like, this is it.
Here.
Oh,
yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm so glad. Sometimes when you know, and
do.
when it feels right, you just follow that intuitive guide into being here.
It's
so
that gut feeling that tells you everything.
So
funny.
You don't know how or why, but this just feels right.
I was talking to my mom about it the other day. She's
Yeah.
my best friend. And so I was like, Mom, isn't it crazy how I found open arms and then I didn't look anywhere else, and that was my sole focus. I was so tunnel vision about open arms. And so she's like, yeah, mysterious ways.
We love you here. You
I love
are
being
amazing. And I'm digging the curls, by the way.
Thanks.
They look fabulous. I'm so jelly.
I didn't even try.
I hate that part. I hate when you compliment someone. Oh, you lost weight. I didn't even try. I had pizza yesterday. Oh, I love your curls. I didn't even try. I woke up like this.
I just showered.
Meantime, the rest of us has to go at it with products. So talking about your journey and coming here and feeling that it's the right place for you, how much prior to joining the team of Open Arms did you know about egg donation?
I feel that I knew sprinkles here and there, but I didn't have like substantial knowledge on the egg donation process nor surrogacy.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until I was here that I really got to learn about the process and all that it entails.
But it wasn't really foreign to you. You kind of like
Correct.
heard about
Correct.
it. And
I heard little things here and there,
Yeah.
but not as much as I know now.
And now you are the expert. Talking about expert.
Ooh.
Give us an idea about
Pop
what
quiz.
you do. Actually, today is Bring Your Daughter to Work Day. So my daughter Maya was here, and I actually asked her to go around and ask everyone what they do in Open Arms and learn a little bit about, here about the agency. So when she was all done, she said, "Mom, I feel like if I work here, I would want to do Rachel's job."
Oh.
I was just like,
my
what?
job is the most fun.
So tell us about your job and what you do.
So basically, my role is I work with Danny. We share an office, and so our department is sort of split in half, but not really. It's kind of like we feed off of each other.
Right.
And so her part is very much the screening process, making sure that those applicants are meeting our qualifications, and then after that, she makes sure that they're active in our database. Once they get matched, then Danny kind of starts orchestrating her handoff to me, and she initiates a Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
That's technically where I get to bond with my donor for the very first time, put a face to the name, ask her about herself, what she does for a living, if she has any kids, because these are all things that ultimately allow me to connect with my donor, and
Yes.
also it just facilitates the process down the road.
Yes.
And then during that same meeting, I also give them a quick overview. I know that Danny has already done it by that point,
Yeah.
but I still do it anyway.
Because probably by the time they talk to Danny and then are
forget.
matched and with you, you probably forget everything
Yeah.
you heard,
Yes, correct.
And Danny can be a bit much. So.
Yes, and so
So it's like coming at you all at once, and it's
And
so
I'm like, oh my
energetic and
God.
overwhelming. You're like,
say what?
so it's good to do a
Yeah.
refresher with you.
Yes, correct. And so then I let them know that as soon as our Zoom meeting is over, that I'll
Yeah.
be sending them an email with a recap again, so they know exactly what's coming their way.
Right.
So after our Zoom meeting, I collect all the records, I send that to the clinic, then we plan for their AMH levels, medical, psych eval. I also coordinate those for them,
Okay.
as well as then their medication, travel arrangements, complications policy, and all that good stuff.
Okay. All right. So you pretty much walk them from the beginning until the end, until there is an egg retrieval, and most time even after the egg retrieval, because you have to make sure that they go for their post-op visit and they're feeling okay, and I bet it makes the donor feel just taken care of and cared for when there is a retrieval, and yet still you do check in and follow up and make sure she's doing well.
I always tell them when we first meet during our Zoom meeting that yes, my role is to facilitate the process for them, but it's also to support them and advocate for them, because this is their process too, you know? And so I want them to feel that they're comfortable, they're taken care of, and that we're not just go here,
Do
you
this.
have to do this.
Yeah,
Don't
go from A to
forget.
B and then
Yes.
and be done.
Yes.
Okay. Do you find that your age help you connect with
Yes.
our egg donors? I would say, right?
Yes. I was just telling Danny earlier today, I'm like, sometimes I feel like they're my friends.
Yeah. Because they are, with boundaries, strong, healthy boundaries.
Danny and I were always like, I think we're kind of parents, you know? You're the nice parent and I'm the strict parent, telling them where to be, what they should be doing.
Right.
So.
And I like that because you do, but also remaining kind of flexible and understanding. Correct. Because you are in that age group when you know, okay, things happen, then you have to be here or there, or how do you roll with those things? It brings me to the conversation about technology. Being young now, sometimes we used to call, and then now you don't get called back. So how has technology helped you connect with your donors? Now, like, okay, what are the channels that you use to reach out, to connect, to make sure she's okay? or to get her to respond to you or whatnot?
I think that our initial conversation during our Zoom meeting also helps with communication because you get to gauge what works best for which donor.
Yeah.
But in the grand scheme of things, I think that technology help us to do our job much more than, I don't know, I can't live in the 40s without it. Anyway, long story short, I just feel like it makes our job so much easier just because of the fact that we have donors and we work with clinics all over the country.
Yeah.
And so with time zones being different than ours and stuff like that, it just helps me communicate with them when I need to communicate with them. Sometimes I know that they're at work, and so I'll just send them a text message instead of giving them a call or an email, and just following up accordingly. And like I said, just making sure that you and your donor are on the same page and that you know what works best for that donor. I think that's essential.
Okay.
So
that's cool. That's very neat. It is cool because, you know, before we used to either call or send an email. The fact that we are able to, you know, text or Instagram. You know, I actually had to do it before. I'm like, okay, she's my client. He can only Instagram, so we Instagram, you know.
Sometimes I Facebook them too.
You Facebook, you're stalking them. Like, I love it. Whatever it takes to get the job done. I love that. I love that. So you've done the job for a while now. Talk to me about an eye-opening moment for you in this process. What would that be?
That's like a loaded question,
Is
you know? Just because I feel like every cycle teaches you something different. And so every cycle is different, and so you learn something different from each cycle. But what I will say that at the very beginning, what I did find interesting was the fact that there are so many pieces in a cycle that move differently, I want to say, or in unison.
Stresses you out as they move.
And so that to me was surprising. I really did think at first that it was a simpler process. How naive. There's so many pieces moving that you have to, you know, keep a track of, and just not lose sight of what's moving. And also,
while the process itself is the same. You know, you go for your psych evaluation, medical evaluation, let's wrap up legal contract, start your medication, go to your local monitoring, have your egg retrieval, we're done. You know, that part is the same. But when you say that each cycle teaches you something, it's absolutely accurate.
Yes.
Because it all depends, like every egg donor brings a different personality, a different schedule, different challenges that we have to work with. You know, just the fact whether she's local to where the procedure is taking place, or
it's a different recipe each time,
which makes the job exciting.
Yes, it does. It does.
And your parenting skills sharp. Like, okay, I got to roll with this one.
My little brother could advocate.
Speed bumps. Let's talk about those. Yes. You know, we always at Open Arms, we always like to say, be honest, be transparent. Say it now, because they need to be aware. We don't want to make it all like, you know, rainbows and roses, and then you get into it and there's these challenges you were not aware of or no. So we try to say, okay, let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, and everything in between. Yes. So what kind of speed bumps would you say someone needs to be aware of, or that you encountered in your cycle?
I think the most common obstacle that I've found is that most of our donors think that it will be a very short process, and that maybe I can fit this into my schedule and get it done in 2 months. And it's unrealistic because, like I said, we have so many pieces that are part of the bigger process. And so I think that knowing that this could take longer than anticipated, I think that's a huge component.
Yeah, I would agree with that. How do you deal with that frustration when it takes longer?
So I think that my role is to not be frustrated, and it's just to support my donor at that point.
You panic silently. You probably close your door and have a fit, and then go, like, okay, I'm going to call my donor now.
Recoup, breathe in and call. But I try my very best to then just be there for my donors and tell them, you know, that I understand their situation and why they would want to move a little faster. And then I also let them know that sometimes things are outside of our control, and this is one of them. And so it's just, what can I do to then make this, what we have at hand, better for you? And they appreciate that a ton.
Yeah,
So,
I'm sure.
yeah.
I can imagine that. So if you, as we talk about time frame frustration with it when it doesn't fit the initial schedule, you also have to think about everything is just tentative dates. You know, depending on how every donor responds to the medication, how quickly, how slowly. Those dates have to be flexible and a little bit fluid. So talk to us about a time frame. What's the realistic time frame for a donor to keep in mind? You know, maybe the best case scenario, the worst case scenario.
So I'd say best case scenario would be 3 months and a half. That's if everything is moving along very quickly. But then I always still say plan for 6 months. As much as I want to tell you 3 months, you'll be done with me.
Yeah.
You won't have to hear from me again. I always tell them, hey, let's plan for the worst case scenario.
Yes.
6 to 8 months max.
Yeah.
Let's start with that.
Okay.
I like to kind of scare them in that respect. Just
well, now your secret is out.
Yes, I know.
And they're like, we know better. It's not 8 months.
Correct. But just to always have that in mind,
Yeah.
you know, that it can always stretch more than you want it to or than you expect it to.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm sure they kind of appreciate that. They makes them, it helps them kind of be ready.
Correct. So it's no surprise if anything, it's taking a little longer than it should. So.
So we talked about a lot. We covered quite a bit.
Yes.
But I want to touch on, you know, what you seem super excited about being here and about feeling that this is your calling. How do you find the job rewarding to you? Like,
I would say.
I always, like I said to Danny, besides that you have a super awesome, cool boss.
You
she knows coming. Oh my God, I gotta find the different material. All right. You know it. I'll take it.
But to answer
rewarding
your question,
part. Yes.
I think the most rewarding part of my job as a egg donor coordinator is when I get to tell my intended parent coordinator the outcome of the retrieval, just because I feel that sometimes I get to know the stories and the journeys of our intended parents, and so being able to have a little piece of that and be involved in a little bit of that, it's like the best part of my job is to know that you're a step closer and I had something to do with that.
Absolutely.
So
well said. Yeah. Well said. I love that. Going back, you know, do you find that some of your donors like to know the outcome of their cycles?
Yes.
Yeah.
Most of them do.
Yeah?
They do. And
to what extent do they want to just know that it was successful, or that, you know, successful in the means that we did retrieve a good number of eggs, or successful that there was a pregnancy, or like how much do you, from your experience, do you find that your donors like to know?
So I think it's half-half. Most of them want to know, half of them want to know, you know, outcome and what did it result in. And some of them are okay with just knowing the amount retrieved. Yeah. But I recently had a donor that she was so excited. I was so excited to tell her also the fact that she was doing a sibling cycle, and her first cycle resulted in. So
explain to everybody. I know we have our own lingo, but what is a sibling cycle?
It's basically when you're donating again for the same intended parent.
For the same couple.
So,
yes. Yes.
So then I told her that her first donation had resulted in pregnancy, and that we had a great outcome the second time around, and she was like, "Oh my God, I love this! Thank you so much for telling me."
She did it just like that?
Literally, just like that.
I love that.
And then I did it back.
That's exciting,
yes,
though.
Yes.
It's exciting to feel like you have taken part in changing a life, something so much bigger than yourself. It's incredible.
And I think that's the aspiring physician in me.
Yes.
You know, that just it feels that. As like right now, I don't have patients of my own, you know, but it feels like I am facilitating that for them, and that's ultimately why I want to pursue a career in medicine. And so it's just
meet Dr. Rachel Garcia.
Soon. Not yet.
soon. Before you know it.
Yes.
I'm so excited for you and what to come.
Oh, thank you.
So this week is National Infertility Awareness Week.
Ooh.
Yes. So it's all about bringing awareness to the stigma, you know, or kind of removing that stigma around infertility. I find from my experience that infertility can be such a silent pain. Something that, and I always say it's a lonely journey, because when you're in it, you feel like it's your own pain, you're isolated from everybody else, you're walking down this path of pain, something that should come to you so naturally is having a baby, and then when you feel like you're robbed off of that, and everybody around you asking you to relax and it will happen, or when are you getting pregnant? When are you expecting? What are you going to do about it? So I always feel like really we don't really need a week to bring that awareness. It should be an ongoing thing. Provide the support that people that are dealing with infertility need. Be more aware, be more understanding, be more flexible, be more available. Just listen. There is no need to judge or dictate how things needs to be. Nowadays, we have so many options to have a family. You know, adoptions, egg donation, surrogacy, sperm donation, embryo donation, foster parents. The options are there. So I love everything about this week and what it brings, and it kind of puts this whole thing in the forefront and say, you know, you're okay and you're worth it and you're amazing and incredible no matter what. And it reminds us of what we do. It reminds us, like you said, that we take part, a small part of making it all happen. So, you know, for everybody who's planning, thinking, whether we can help you or not, we will be happy to answer any questions, put you in touch with the right professionals, and just help any way we can. And we continue on. So, what's left? Did we leave anything out? I think we covered a lot of ground.
I think we did. Oh, a lot.
A lot. You feel complete? You feel like it?
I think so. I'm trying to think. You know, did I forget to say something?
Any message for your divas?
I love you guys all. And I'll be posting on our Facebook soon, so you can, if you did not tune in today, then you can see in our YouTube channel this episode as well as all the previous ones.
Yes.
So, no excuse.
Episode 11 is going to be the end of May. We don't have a date yet, but we're excited about the options that we have. You know, the possibilities. Who's going to be a guest here?
Me again, always, of course.
Who?
Me again.
Yeah, I would love to. I would love. Look at you getting comfortable. See, I love it. We can always do it. Back with like popular demand, Rachel Garcia. So feel free to drop us an email, comments, you know, call us. Let us know who you want to see next to me next time. Rachel again, I get it. What topics are important to you that you would like us to put on the table and discuss, and we'll go from there. So have a great day. Oh, yes, we forgot. Laura, who is actually in a meeting at the moment, is going to Argentina tomorrow. Yay! Oh my God, she's going to be gone for 2 weeks. And she has appointments scheduled with intended parents who are excited to meet with her and sit down and discuss their options. You know, we can't wait to post pictures from that trip, and that's super exciting. We want her to come and say hi, but she's tied up in a meeting. That's it for us. Working hard. Working hard. So we're going to see you the end of May, and that's going to be after Mother's Day. So happy Mothers to all the mommies and the mommies to be. And take good care, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.